I am so excited to share the latest updates with you from Lightroom version 12. Let's get started. So the first thing that you're going to notice is the panel up here under the develop mode. The panel has changed. So we've got, it looks a little different, and we've got this little guy. He was not there before. When you click on this, it basically what it does is it just opens up this panel and you have all of these things to edit with. This is still our cropping tool. This is our healing tool. That has something new that we're going to talk about. And then just red eye, and then this is the masking tool. This is where most of the changes have taken place. Before, when we had the masking tool, so they gave it to us with version 11 last October. Lightroom comes out with a new release every October. We had two things. We had subject and sky. But now when we open our masking tool, it's amazing. We have background, which is incredible. So with one click, it chooses the background. So it even chose in here between the bride and groom, even in, look at this little piece between her arm, which just fascinates me. So once you've chosen the background with one click, then it opens up this panel where we can then edit it. So we can up the exposure, we can bring the exposure down. For this one, I think it'd be cool to like lower the clarity so it's kind of blurry and dreamy. So you'll notice that no matter what adjustments I make to the background, it doesn't change our subject at all. So that's amazing. Before, I'm going to delete that. Before, you used to have to choose the subject and then you would have to click this little invert box to get the background. But now, literally, all we have to do, I'm going to click the plus and add background. And so with one click, it selects the background for us. So that's amazing. Absolutely love that. The other thing that has changed is every time you click on a photo, Lightroom in the background is detecting people. So watch this, and I'll go to a different photo. See the little wheel spinning? It's detecting all of the people in my photo. So for instance, if the photographer was forced to shoot in the shade and someone is being covered and is especially dark, maybe darker than the other subjects, you can literally isolate one person in a photo. How amazing is that? You can either click them all or just edit one of them. So let's say I want to just edit one person in a photo. I can click on that person, and now I even have more options. It's just mind-blowing to me. So I can just edit her face. Maybe her face needs to be brightened. I can do all of the skin on her body. So you notice it hasn't chosen the face. It's just chosen the rest of her skin. If I want the face as well, I can click them both, and now all of the skin is chosen. You can just choose eyebrows. So let's pull way, way in. Watch her eyebrows, and I can just, I'll unclick these, and I can just click eyebrows. And then once we've clicked that, you can lighten them, you can darken them, you can just choose the eyes, you can choose the actual whole eye, like the shininess of the eye. That's all this fancy word means, if you want to brighten the eye. Or you can even edit the iris and the pupil. You can make the lips pinker or darker. You can whiten teeth, and you can adjust hair. And that's just for this person because I chose her. Or you can just click the entire person, and whatever one of these boxes you tick, it creates a mask for it. So then when you go to your masking tool, let's go back to fit. You go back to your masking tool, it's created a mask just for this person. And then I can do whatever I need to do for that person alone, and it does not affect the rest of the image. Mind blowing. I love that. So even in a shot like this, because of the sun, this image is perfection. But let's say because of the way the light was coming in, the groom was really, really dark. You could just edit the groom. Or if there was a shadow on the bride's face, you can edit just the bride. So it really is an incredible feature that Lightroom has added. So the other great feature that they've added to the masking tool is objects. And what that does is you can pick an object in a photo and just edit that object. And it's pretty amazing how intuitive Lightroom is. So let me click Objects. And let's say, for instance, I wanted to change the green on this bush. All you have to do is just kind of loosely go over it. You don't even have to be exact. I always use a really big brush and just go really fast, because Lightroom somehow knows. It kind of like reads your mind, like, oh, they want the bush. And then you can do whatever you want to the bush. If it needs brightening, if you wanted to cool it down, whatever you wanted to do. Let's try a different one. I'm going to delete that mask. Let's click Objects again. And let's say these columns were too yellow and I wanted to brighten them, or they were gray, or whatever I wanted to do to them. I simply just go over the column, and it literally knows that I just wanted this column. It didn't pick the girl. It didn't pick the other columns. It's just mind-blowing to me. And I keep saying that. I need a new word. I need a new phrase. And then you can edit this column. I'm going to do one more just to show you. Let's say these red bricks were bothering you. Let's say they were too bright or they were distracting, and for whatever reason you couldn't crop them out. You're going to click your plus sign, click Objects, just quickly go over those, and in a second it picks just those red bricks. And then you can take down that saturation or do whatever you needed to do because they were bothering you. It's kind of amazing. So try using Objects. It really will, dare I say, blow your mind. All right, let's go to the next thing. I'm going to click a different photo. Another thing that they added with version 12 update is they've added a new tool in the healing brush. So before this latest version, we only had the healing tool and the clone tool, and they're pretty good. For the healing tool, let's say I want to remove, I gotta remove all the little things I practice with. Let's say I want to remove this little thing because I find it distracting. If I clicked on it with the healing tool, I would have to then tell Lightroom what to use to fill that in. But now, instead, we've got the content aware tool. It looks like a little eraser. You just click on it. You click on the object you're trying to remove, and Lightroom intuitively knows what to fill it in with by what's around it and quote unquote behind it. So let's try some more. I'm going to click this content aware. Let's say these little roots were bothering me and I wanted to take them out. I just quickly go over them and Lightroom fills it in. It's really good for leaves or blemishes, things like that, because you can just quickly click things and move along, and it instantly fills in what should have been there if the distraction weren't blocking it. Let me just show you a couple more. So let's say, for instance, I know there was one on here. Let's take this one off. I would never remove these because it gives layers to the photo and I think they're beautiful, but I'm just going to show you what the content aware tool can do. So if I click content aware and I just quickly go over this, it's going to immediately fill in with her dress, and I'm not having to tell it where to fill in with. And let's see if it can even like continue the line of this dress if I did not want this here. I'm going to delete that one and let it try again. So you can see that it's not perfect. So it's not doing it perfectly, but it's pretty good. So give the content aware tool a try. I think that you'll really, really love it. Okay, so those are the differences, or the updates, I should say, that they made to this side. Now let's move over to this side. This to me was just as exciting as things that they added over here. So Lightroom has had adaptive presets. I don't even know when they came out with them, but they have really improved them with this latest update. So the first thing I want to talk about is adaptive portrait. It's kind of amazing what it can do. So this bride is beautiful. She's perfect. I don't even know that she really doesn't need anything. But the reason that I chose this image to show you what adaptive portrait can do is because it really highlights for us that it can take your photos just to that next level. So I could easily come in here and just click on Enhance Portrait, and it does all of these other things. Well, it doesn't really touch the hair, but it adds all of these masks to your subjects in the photo with one click. So if I click Enhance Portrait, and then I come over here to masks, you will see that it added a mask to her teeth, her eyes, both the brightness of her eyes and the iris and pupil of her eyes, and it adjusts and softens her skin. So it does all of that with one click. Now, one thing to notice about adaptive presets, once you've clicked one, you have an adjustment slider over here above the preset panel. So you can actually adjust the strength of the preset that you just applied. Or over here where it's created a mask for you, under the masking tool, you also have, let me show you, an adjustment slider right here. So I would need to click on one of these. So let's say I want to adjust the amount of this slider, the face and skin. I can also adjust it here. I can add more strength to that preset or less. So you have adjustment sliders on both sides now. The only difference is over here, it adjusts all of them all at once. And over here, I would have to click on which mask I want it to adjust. So right now, I just clicked on teeth, and I can adjust the teeth. So obviously, we wouldn't do anything like this, but I'm just showing you that you can adjust it here in these adjustment sliders, or you can adjust the amount here. And it makes the preset stronger or less strong. So let's take these off because I want to show you that you can also pick things individually under the adaptive portrait. So you can even make it more glamorous. You can make it gritty. Not sure why you would ever want to do that. You can just enhance the eyes. So watch your eyes. This is without the enhanced eyes. This is with the enhanced eyes. So you can see this is, you can whiten just the teeth. If someone needs their teeth whitened, you can add texture to the hair. If you feel like it's too soft, let's say you apply the glamour portrait, which softens the skin, but then you feel like the hair is a little too soft, you can add texture, or you can smooth out the hair so you can see what it's doing to the hair. So it's pretty amazing what you can do. I have found that it's really helpful. This is a beautiful, gorgeous little senior. But what senior wouldn't want a little extra? So you can come in here and you can press enhance. You could even do the glamour if you wanted. You can give her eyes an extra bump. You can, if you wanted to, you could darken her eyebrows. You could add texture to her hair. You could smooth out her hair, whiten her teeth. And as you're pushing all of those things, it's creating masks over here under the masking tool, which you could then go in and adjust even more. So it's just absolutely amazing. I'm gonna find her. Let's do her lips. So her lips are a little light. So what you would do is you'd go to your masking tool. You're going to go to the plus sign and you're going to go to people. Select people. So that opens her up. I'm gonna click on her and then I'm just going to do lips. And you can see that it's created a mask on her lips. So I push create mask. Now we have this lip mask and you can literally add color. You can darken them a little bit, make them pop. You can add saturation and it's just adjusting her lips. So you can literally give someone lipstick if you want to. And the great thing about these masks is if I had 10 more images of her in this field, these all sync. So when you sync this photo to the subsequent photos, it applies all of these same masks to her face, even if she's changed position. So, because Lightroom intuitively, because of their artificial intelligence software, it zones in on her eyes and her lips and her hair. So any mask that you create for one photo, you can then sync to the other photos. It's absolutely amazing. So that was the portrait. You can also, with one click, do really cool things to the sky. So here you don't see much sky, but if you add blue drama, all of a sudden the sky is back. How amazing is that? And if you want to increase the intensity, you can come up here and do it. Because I've clicked this, remember, it automatically creates a mask over here as well. I can click on it here and make adjustments here as well, or adjust the intensity with the amount slider over here as well. It has things like blue drama if you want it even darker. It has a thing called neon topics, which it changes the blue. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. If there were storm clouds, you can enhance those storm clouds. You can come over here and make the sky really moody. If it was a sunrise, it enhances the sunrise. If it was a sunset, it enhances the sunset. So let me show you how that would work. This is a sunset photo. I can click sunset. It instantly adds sunset, or I can come over here because it created a mask and I can add more color to it. I can add more saturation. I can bring down the exposure or the highlights a little bit and bring out the drama of that sunset even more. And again, when you sync this photo with every photo that was taken in this section of this gallery, this crosses over. So you will get that sunset in every photo. It's really quite amazing. And then lastly, you've got adaptive presets called adaptive subject. So what it does is it automatically, the AI knows the subject of your image, and it can make that subject pop. So you'll notice, kind of watch them, it just pops them a little bit if they're a little bit dark and you want just a little extra pop. And remember, if you click that and apply that mask, you can adjust the intensity as well. You can add warmth to your subject. You can soften your subject. You can make them a little bit cooler. If you love the warmth of the overall image, but you want the subject cooler, you can cool just your subject down. You can add vibrance to just your subject, or you can add glow. So these are the adaptive presets. Play with them, try them. You're going to love it. Let's try popping these guys so they're kind of in the shade. Let's say we want to add a little pop to them. Maybe we're going to pull that down a tiny bit. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add background because I want to bring the light up in that background. This photographer was forced to shoot into these dark shadows. So we're going to brighten that up. We're going to bring that warmth down just a little bit. Let's take down the clarity, make it a little hazy and glowy, and voila. And if I wanted to bump down the overall exposure, can easily just bump that down, and it's perfect. So you can work with the adaptive presets, and over here with the AI, they kind of work together, and it's absolutely amazing what you can do now in any mask that you create, whether you've created it with an adaptive preset or you create it on your own under here using the masking tool and make your adjustments. Any mask that you create, you can sync to subsequent photos. So those are the latest and greatest updates in Lightroom version 12. If you haven't already, download the latest update, play around with these. You're going to love them. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out. You can DM me on Instagram. You can reach out to me below here on the YouTube channel, write me on my blog. I'm here to help. It's a joy for me to share with others what I've learned. So always reach out for help, and please subscribe to my channel. That helps me, and that way you'll be notified when I release tutorials. I try to do it once a week. So until then, happy editing.